What's going on, guys? Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Nothing much has changed. We're still range bound for the most part. Obviously, it's been a couple of weeks since we've actually tapped range highs, so there hasn't been too many long opportunities. Um, let's see. So I was long actually last week from here last weekend. I took a long right after Friday. I just closed it, especially seeing that we closed below the value area low of the range again. So there's a lot of weakness at the moment, and I'm not really too much of a fan of it. So I decided to close my long until we can reclaim this level and we get a retest. So something ideally like this. Well, actually, I'll review what happened last week first. So if I just go back there, go into the 4-hour time frame. There you go. So what I was watching last week was essentially this. We had on Friday, we had a big bullish engulfing of this level right here. So I had a long position. I wanted the retest of that valley area low at about 63,800. I don't remember. I think I set my stop somewhere down here at about 60,000, right? And I was actually targeting range highs again, about $71,000. First target when you're trading a range, well, should always be the point of control, which was what I was looking for at about $67,000, 66.9. That would have been my first TP regardless. So once we got the bullish engulfing, we spent the next day, which was later in Friday and then going into Saturday, basically retesting the valley area low and also those series of 3 candles that we engulfed, right? And so that was my entry. For the most part, we broke down, we tapped it, held a support. I got my entry, and then early on in the week, we ended up pushing up higher to the point of control, right there. So we got the tap of $67,000. That was my first take profit. I remember moving my stops up to $62,000 after that, just to kind of protect myself and make sure that worst case scenario, this was at the very least, a green trade. But it was about this level that I wanted to see hold as support. You see these wicks. I did not want to see price break back down below that. So I tightened my stop loss, took TP1. I was still waiting for over 70K for my next level. We didn't get it. The point of control acted as resistance. And then after seeing all of this, I decided to manually stop myself out because there was really no strength. I mean, I gave it a little more time, Thursday and Friday, but you see how there's just really no strength. And now we've broken back. If I just drag out the volume profile and update the levels, you see how we actually break down below the valley area low and retest it as resistance now. So that's not good for me. I did not want to see this retested as resistance. That's problematic, right? So until we can reclaim it, retest it as support, and I can see that it holds just the way we did over here, I'm not looking to go long right now. My targets for now is that as long as we stay below these that valley area low, I'm looking for these equal lows right here at about 59,000, right? 59.5. See those equal lows? Obviously, they're not perfect, but relative equal lows. That's the level I want to see swept. Even below this low, which is 59.2. Yeah, those are the levels that I'm leaning towards getting swept now in the coming week. Just because there's been an absolute lack of strength. See how the monthly's looking. We're about to close April in a couple of days. Yeah, I definitely feel like we're gonna sweep those lows. You see this right here? This right here is our fair value gap. right? Now, obviously, I'm not a big fan of using order blocks and fair value gaps with Bitcoin. I usually keep that for Forex, but on a large time frame, I kind of do keep it in mind, just because this is it is March the March lows, right? So this right here, and liquidity is so important, at least in my experience. So if you don't want to see it as a fair value gap, you don't have to. But I see it as a sweep of March lows and also the low of this entire range that we've been in for the last couple of months. So I wouldn't be surprised if we actually dipped below these lows, swept it for good, and then pushed higher. So what I want to see is probably, something like this, bounce up, and then maybe a sweep, reclaim, retest. And if I get this, you get the shift in structure, and you get a retest of the lows, then you can take your position with confirmation and look for higher prices. So that's along the lines of what I'm going to be looking for. Let's take a look at Ethereum real quick. Yeah, so Ethereum, my level that I've been watching has been 3,600 for the last few weeks. That's been the level to reclaim. Let's go to the weekly. Yeah. Uh, yeah, this 3,600 level really is the level for me. And you see how prices respected it beautifully. We got rejected, rejected, rejected. We had kind of a false breakout here. Fell back down and pushed all the way down to this support level, which is 2,800. Now, I was watching this 3,200 level very closely. That was the level where we were getting rejected, but it seems like over the weekend we did manage to reclaim it. I want to see this level hold for the coming week now. If we could actually retest that candle, if we can hold that as support, I don't want to see that candle traded through. But if we can kind of do something like this and come back up to this resistance, it's going to be really interesting to see, especially if Bitcoin reclaims that value area low, right? If Bitcoin reclaims that value area low and Ethereum makes its way up here, it's going to be really interesting to see what's going to happen if we can push all the way back up to 4,000. Because if we could, in fact, reclaim this level, then yeah, we're going back to 4,000 and then potentially even new all-time highs at 4,400. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see. But yeah, so at this moment, I am flat with all my positions. I was in a long, but seeing how we've broken below the value area low just shows me far too much weakness. So I decided to get out. I did after hitting take profit 1 last week, so it doesn't really bother me too much. I'd rather just wait for a show of strength and confirmation before getting into another long. I am not looking to short right now. There is a short play available though. Probably should have mentioned that. Should I just draw this volume profile again? There you go. So I mean, we've broken below the value area low. This by no means is a bad trade, right? You could be looking for those lows to get swept, your stops. I would probably have my stop somewhere up here. And I wouldn't want to see that level. So we've got some resistance up here at the 65.5 level. I wouldn't want to see that level violated. If I wouldn't even want to see the value area low over here at 63.8, 63.9 violated. I want to see that hold as resistance if I'm leaning towards these lows getting swept. Right, so if I'm entering a short position, that's probably something I'll be looking at. But for now, I am sitting flat. I'm really not looking to take any shorts. It's just it's not my style. Given that the higher time frame structure is bullish, we've broken below the range. If anything, I'm looking for a show of strength to go long. Right. So for now, I'm just sitting in my spot holds, sitting tight, letting price develop a little more. I'm going to see what happens at the start of the week and see if I can get a couple of positions here and there. But yeah, let's see what we get.